This is RJ Game News USA here, back today with another video. And today we're going to be talking about how the Houston Texans really fucked up by not benching CJ Stroud. Man, oh man, we got to talk about that. Now look, but first you got to subscribe, right? But here's the deal. I think the Patriots would have won the game anyway. But the bottom line is this. I'm going to get into the stats with CJ Stroud here in a second. It's pretty outrageous. But Davis Mills did show himself to be very capable in that Texans offense. In fact, doing just as much, if not better, than what CJ Stroud has done. During their 10-game win streak, Davis Mills was the first win of that win streak and won all of his starts, I believe. They were losing to the Jags, and he led an epic comeback. Now, we all know the Texans have an absolutely excellent defense, okay? But the one way you can really, fuck that up is turning the ball over. And the bottom line is this. CJ Stroud was an absolute turnover machine. Even in the Steelers game they won, he fumbled the ball 5 times, lost 2, threw a pick. Right? Well, in this game against the Patriots, he threw 4 interceptions in the first half, and he fumbled twice, I believe, and lost both, if I'm not mistaken. Now look, Drake May also fumbled a lot. And look, he did lose, I think, one of those fumbles. And the weather was really bad. There was a wintry mix. It seemed like everybody was having problems. There was more fumbles than just that. Holding on to the ball was a premium here. And but what makes it unacceptable to keep CJ Stroud in the game were the interceptions. There might have been a few where it was the receiver's fault. But there was multiple throws CJ Stroud made that shouldn't have even been attempted in an NFL game. So not only did he have 1 touchdown, 4 picks, he was under 50% on his completion percentage. That is not a winning formula in the NFL. The Patriots ended up winning 28-16. Had Davis Mills been in the game, I would have been a little more nervous as a Patriots fan. Which is why, coming at it from the reverse, I'm telling you that Davis Mills could have gave that team a spark. And I certainly don't think we would have seen some of the bonehead plays we've seen CJ Stroud make. One of these bonehead plays was in a game where the Texans were up 10-7. CJ Stroud, while being tackled, literally throws the ball up for grabs. That usually results in some of the most comical pick sixes ever. And this is one of them. I thought Josh Allen made the most boneheaded play of the weekend with his lateral behind him ending the first half, giving the Broncos a field goal before halftime. Spoiler alert, the Broncos win by 3. So that 3 points was important. CJ Stroud also had other multiple attempts where while he was being tackled, chucked the ball up and was lucky it wasn't picked. Throwing the ball in tight windows where the ball was batted in the air that wasn't picked. This dude could have thrown 8 or 9 interceptions. Possibly. He was missing throws really bad. And I know some of you all out there might say, hey, well, wait a minute. They pointed out in the broadcast he had a hand injury, though. He had a hand injury. You're making my case for me. That's even more reason to bench CJ Stroud, especially when you get into halftime down 21-10. That's even more reason to bench CJ Stroud than if he was healthy, right? If he's hurt and he's already playing at the Davis Mills level and he's hurt, now he's playing below Davis Mills level. You get what I'm saying, right? So, obviously in the second half, they moved the ball a little bit better. He turned the ball over less. But they only scored 6 points in the second half. And the Texans defense could only hold on for so long against an MVP candidate like Drake May. And so, like I predicted and like I thought, the Patriots won this game, and CJ Stroud was just awful. And the Texans really going to have to stop and consider what they want to do. Because right now, I really don't feel like CJ Stroud deserves a big contract. He had an excellent rookie season, and he regressed his second year, and he regressed even more his third year. Now, for 3 years in a row, the Texans have made it to the divisional round. They're now 0-7 in the divisional round as a franchise, never making it to the championship game. They've been around since 2002. How could you get over this hump? Well, I know this. You can't rely on the defense for multiple years. And here's why. Even more than offenses in the NFL, defensive leaders, as far as points per game or yards per game, shift a lot more volatile year to year than offenses do. That's just the way it happens. So you can't really count on this Texans defense to be just as good next year or better to be better than what they finished. I wouldn't say CJ Stroud is out of a job, but he certainly doesn't get the big contract. Him and Bryce Young, ironically, drafted in the same draft, going into year 4, they're going to be in the same boat here. Both made the playoffs. Both have won their division before. Both have had flashes of brilliance. Both have had many negative games as well. I would say Bryce has been trending up while CJ's been trending down, and now their paths are crossed. But going into this 4th year, this is going to be make or break for their contract. Will they get a big contract? And my definition of a bust is really simple, and this may be unfair, because there's certainly quarterbacks who have went on to second or third teams that have had success. But if the team that drafted you doesn't give you the big second contract, you're a bust. You are a bust. So, for example, Sam Darnold did not get a second contract from the Jets. It's probably the Jets' fault he didn't succeed there, but that's a bust. He was a bust as a draft pick for that franchise. Now he's doing great things in Seattle, right? And if CJ Stroud shits the bed next year and doesn't get a big contract, and they do pick up his 5th-year option or they don't, that's a bust. They'll be looking elsewhere after that. So, and I think they should. If CJ Stroud either continues to regress or doesn't get any better next year, he shouldn't be the reason they're losing games. CJ Stroud was supposed to be the reason why they win games, like his rookie season. This would be like if Drake May had just suddenly, or Caleb Williams, it just, Jaden Daniels is on that possibility, right? I mean, this is why you want multiple years of greatness from a guy, not just 1 year and then anoint him. Okay, you have to make sure they're not a bust. So yeah, I would have benched CJ Stroud in the Texans game. Probably at halftime. Probably before that, but definitely by halftime, I would have trotted Davis Mills out there. And also, DeMeco Ryans punted the ball on 4th and 18 when he was down two scores. 2 touchdowns he needed. And he punted the ball on 4th and 18 with 4 minutes left and 1 timeout. That's absolutely ridiculous. Should never happen. You should just go for broke at that point. He punted the ball away. I immediately knew game's over for sure. You have to go for the 4th and 18. You just do. So that was cowardly. Patriots won. They deserved to win. They never give the ball back up. Oh, they did give the ball back up one more time. But doesn't matter. It was cowardly. DeMeco Ryans probably maybe a little too worried to bench CJ Stroud and see the fallout from that. Again, I don't care. I only care about winning the game and moving on and advancing in the playoffs any means necessary. There are many, many quarterbacks in this league and even backup quarterbacks who could have won with the Texans defense even today. And the fact they didn't should make Texans fans sick to their stomach. However, I'm happy Stroud wasn't benched, and I'm happy my Patriots won. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video. This is RJ signing out. Have a good one.